Hello, I'm Andrea from the Creative Dream Incubator. This is Creative Dream TV, and today I want to talk about when you don't feel like doing something, and or when you're feeling conflicted about doing something or not doing something. I wrote in my blog yesterday a long thing about feeling conflicted, and then today I'm feeling conflicted. So I wanted to share a little bit more about this and about what I did to work through it, because I notice sometimes when I feel conflicted, I just start kind of avoiding or becoming very busy in other things, which is avoiding, and just not doing the thing that I mean to be doing. And often we kind of just make excuses or make ourselves very busy to avoid the thing that we don't really want to be doing. And it's much better to be clean about it and to just be really clear and about making choices about what we're going to do. So today, I was feeling conflicted about recording this video, and I didn't understand why, because I was like, but I like making the videos, and I like that I make just a short one every week. I love that I have this new way that it's way fast, and I'm just sending it straight to YouTube, and feels really simple and easy, and yet I just wasn't feeling it today. So once I realized, hey, that's why I keep sort of coming up with all these other things to do instead of doing what I'm meant to be doing, I decided to sit down with it and journal it out. So here I am. I wrote at the top of my page, I don't want to. And I wrote it in bubble letters. I put this little thing around it, and it's not super neat because I went and sat on the couch. I didn't have a nice surface, but I spent some time writing that out just to give myself some time to be in the energy and feeling of it. Because when you don't want to do something, so you're making yourself busy doing other things, or you're avoiding how you're feeling, you need a little while to just settle into, okay, this is how I actually feel. I don't want to do it. And then before I could go any further with it, I wanted to write, how I feel is valid, no pushing. So I'm not going to push because I knew, well, if I just didn't want to do it, I would choose to not do it. There's a part of me that does want to do it, and so it's the conflict that's the problem. So I needed to put that reminder at the top of my page, how I feel is valid. Everything, like, you get to feel conflicting things. It's okay. Doesn't mean you have to decide which one is right and which one is wrong. All the feelings are right. And then no pushing. So no one feeling gets to kind of bulldoze and push over other feelings and have it get its way, right? Everyone's gonna get some space to breathe and to exist. It's really interesting how just the act of letting all of your feelings exist can solve a lot of problems. So then I wrote, I don't want to feel this way. Why? And so that feeling's valid too, but why do I wish I did feel like doing this? So it's kind of like trying to create a pros and cons list. So, well, what would be a pro to just going ahead and doing the video? So it was like, well, keeping my commitment to putting out a new video every week, and I just kind of sat with that for a bit, and I was like, yeah, so there's a commitment that I've made to the people who watch, but I think you have to be really careful about commitments you make to large groups of people where there isn't really a reciprocal agreement. Like, I can't feel that I have to do this all the time, no matter what. But underneath that, there's also the commitment that I made to myself and to my business, and so feeling that trust, I wrote in really, really big letters, wanting to have the quality of trust flow really, really strong and steady in my inner relationship with my business and with how I put my creativity out there. So it felt like when I made the decision to do a weekly video, it came from a grounded and clear place. And if I just stop because I'm cranky one morning, I start to derode the trust that I build up between myself and my creativity, between myself and my business, between myself and my willingness to put myself out there. So it just felt like, wow, maintaining that trust is really important. And that trust isn't going to ask me to push and bulldoze and do it anyway, no matter how I'm feeling. The trust asks me to stay in the process. So it's just remembering that this is valid. I've made this choice to do this thing. So this is something that I'm now working with. And I can't just shove it aside and not not be really conscious about what I'm doing. Right. So then I wrote the other side of the pro and con list. Why don't I want to? And this was really funny because the answers were bullshit answers. I wrote, I'm not inspired. And then I had to laugh. I was like, I just finished teaching this class on inspiration in the Creative Dream Circle. And I'm like, the main thing is you don't sit around and wait for inspiration. You work on your relationship with it. It's always accessible to you. What you need is always accessible. And no one ever did anything by sitting around and waiting to be inspired. And then here I am writing, but I don't feel inspired. So that was kind of funny. And then I wrote, it feels like it takes too much time. And I was like, what? That's not even true. It's not even going to take 10 minutes to just sit down and talk. And then I set the thing and it uploads on its own. I don't like I have 10 minutes. So it's interesting when you start to rate the reasons why you don't want to do something and none of them are true. It's like, there's something else at play. And then I hit something a little more true, and that was, I don't feel presentable today. And at first I was like, well, I can wear a wig. It's pretty easy to kind of look presentable for a video, especially when you have a whole bunch of wigs that you like wearing. But when I sort of let that... So when I say that these responses aren't true, I mean, I'm noticing that it's kind of funny and kind of interesting that they're not true, but I'm still giving that space but that's still true that that's how I feel. There's a part of me that feels that way. It's interesting that they don't have a very solid argument, but I'm still going to give them space to feel that way, right? So I'm still giving this part of me space that I just don't quite feel presentable. And then what it clicked into, the real thing that's up for me today is that I'm having problems with allergies, and so I'm all puffy, especially my eyes, and I don't feel 100%. I don't take pills for them because pharmaceuticals make me crazy. So I'm just kind of being with it, and it's not really that bad. But I was like, but doing videos is a really kind of extroverted thing, and when I'm in need of some kind of nurturing and healing, that's when I do not want to be extroverted. And I was like, now it makes sense. How I'm feeling makes sense. I do want to do this. I feel like today is not the best day to do it. So then I felt like everything that was feeling conflicted inside of me, suddenly there was space for all of it to just be there. And I drew this mandala just to give myself a little time to sit in that energy of it, of having all of the feelings have space. Kind of like when you're in conflict with yourself, everything's like, all over, and nothing really has enough space, and everything's hitting up against each other, and then you don't have time or space to see what's actually happening. And so in writing this all out, it's like that stopped, everything spread out. Everything had its own space. Everything had what it needed to be valid and to exist. So just sitting in that, drawing the mandala. And then two things came to me, one for each side of the pros and cons. And first one was that noticing in creating these patterns through repetition, I noticed that routine and structure create solidity. Something really, really, really beautiful can be born out of routine and structure, and of do the freaking video, right? It leads to something, and that, every week you don't have to feel 100% excited about doing it, but if you stay in the process with it, it builds something. And just that, that's, it just felt like holding the commitment felt more important. And then on the other side I wrote, I need to know I won't be pushed, which was really cool. It's not, I need to not do this. I need to know, I just need to be validated in how I feel, and to know that I won't be pushed, and to know that when I'm feeling like I don't want to do something, we can do this about it and explore everything. And when I do that, I trust that whatever is really right for me in that moment, that's what's going to come through, and that's what's going to come out of this. So if what was really right for me today was to say, hey, I have these allergies, my eyes are really itchy, I just don't feel like being on camera, that's okay. I know I could put that out there and just write that and say I'll be back next week, and it would be fine. And so just to have that permission to know that I won't be pushed brings me to the truth that I'm okay. to do it today, and that I like talking with you guys in this way. So that was really cool, and I hope you remember that the next time you are feeling kind of conflicted about something. Give yourself some space to give everything that you're feeling some space and some permission to exist, and something really beautiful will come out of that. I'll see you back here next week. Bye.